honestly, for 3.5 grand, you're not really going to find anything better than this, really. I mean, it's a good little bike for 3.5 grand. I'm not complaining. If I had the money in the shed space, I'd happily own one of these, you know, because it's just a mean little runner and it's good on gas. You can't complain, like, you know, and it's still a lot of fun. Come on, little Hanway. What is up, YouTube? My name is Vinny and welcome to Road Blast Media. Today we're at my workplace, Colin Klein Motorcycles, as you can see there, and we are going to be doing a review on the HANWAY Scrambler 125. Now this is an interesting bike that we have in store, and it's a little 125cc Scrambler motorcycle. It makes 10.5 horsepower, so it's pretty underpowered, but at the end of the day it only weighs 111 kilos, so it'll be bloody good on gas with that tiny little engine. It is fuel injected, 4-stroke, and it is actually reasonably fast enough because of how light it is. Even though it's underpowered, it's still you know, a reasonably nippy little motorcycle, especially around the streets. On this model, this is a Scrambler model, and you get upside down forks. You obviously get knobbly off-road tires. It's actually got a really reasonable fit and finish. You've even got a pearl paint job here, which is quite nice, and a little like sort of single seat looking thing. You got some nice little discrete indicators here, and then the exhaust, I actually found this very interesting. The factory exhaust comes with a removable baffle from the factory, so you can make it louder, but you know, this is Road Blast Media, so we are going to have that out for the video. We will take this bike for a little ride as well. This bike costs out the door from our shop just 3.5 grand, so it's extremely cheap. In other countries, currencies will be different, but this is a bike made in China, so the build quality is obviously not going to be up to standard of some other bikes, but you can't really expect much from a bike that you're only paying 3.5 grand for. Brand new out the door with a warranty. And it also has disc brake on the rear and at the front, so it's got really ample brakes, and I think they're a linked braking system, so if you pull the front or the rear, both the brakes will grab. But in saying that, it's not that hard to disconnect the connection, and you can have the separate brakes, so you can do some skids and things like that if you take it out on the dirt. I really like the classic styling of this motorcycle, the round headlight. It's very cool. It's quite eye-catching, looks the part, you know. It's quite a little beast. I actually really like this little thing, and you've obviously got your mud guard out the front here, just kind of gives it that more Scrambler look. But yeah, it's an absolutely beautiful motorcycle, and we'll start it up, and let's hear what it sounds like. So we've just got a really simple LED sort of dash up here. It just lights up orange. It tells you everything you need to know, but really nothing flash. Obviously the handles are a little bit wonky, a little bit loose. The switch gear is obviously very cheap feeling, but again, you can't expect much for 3.5 grand. You can even see the paint there just looks like they've just dotted it in with a touch-up brush, but that's still cool. Alrighty, so how about we start up this little HANWAY 125 and hear the little single rumble. So yeah, it's actually quite a nice sounding little bike. It's still pretty quiet even with the baffle out, but it adds a deeper tone to it, and it sounds pretty cool. So yeah, that was a little rundown of the HANWAY 125. I'm going to take it out on the road now and show you guys my thoughts and feelings about how it rides and stuff. It's a lot of fun, so yeah, meet me out on the road, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this video. Alrighty guys, now for the fun part. We're going to take this little Chinese 125 for a mission and see how it goes. See if you know, their build quality has gotten better over time. It's got a nice tidy little rev to it. Clutch feel is a little iffy, but it's okay. So we're just going to go down the little back road of my work, and we'll see how we go, eh? We'll just take it for a little rip, maybe even hit a little bit of rough road, see how we go. Yeah, so it seems to get up to speed all right. It says it can rev out to about 10,000, so you know, it's probably got more guns in it. I'm not going to give it everything I have, because this is basically a brand new bike with only 7.2 kilometers on the clock, but that's okay. So yeah, it hums along nicely. So there's definitely a lot of play in the throttle, but you know, I keep reminding myself, what can you expect for, you know, really, like $3.5 grand? Like, it's not that expensive, is it? So you're obviously getting what you pay for, but it is a cool little bike. I quite like it. It's fun, it's really light and super flickable. I don't think you'll be smashing too many corners on this little bad boy because of the knobbly tires, but you know, they still grip and handle okay, and it seems to tuck in all right, you know, pop round, and it's eating up these rough little back roads quite nicely. Yeah, it's never going to get away on you. That's one thing that you should probably expect about a little bike like this, is it'll never ever get away on you. So we'll do a little U-turn. The turning circle is pretty good, as you would expect from a small bike, and yeah, handle that okay. Yeah, it's quite a cool little machine, this. It's definitely like a lot of fun. I think the person who wants to buy this is either like a learner or just wants some sort of cheap run around. You know, it's going to be good on gas, get them from A to B. I think this bike has a top speed of 106 kilometers an hour, which is not bad for a 125. And it's got the gears, you know, it gets up, and those link brakes are actually quite nice on the road. I think where you would start to not be so friendly with those linked brakes is if you took it like some proper off-roading, you know. So we'll go hit some quick little city streets. We'll give it a little wind out here. Yeah, like, it's gonna take you almost all day to get to 100 click, but that's all right, you know. 3.5 grand, you can't complain. It's a lot of fun. It's a good size. It's only 111 kilos, so it's extremely flickable. It feels a lot like a scooter in the same sort of weight, but you got, you know, a good amount of power under you for the weight anyway, so it's all good. Yeah, that clutch is a little bit iffy, but it's okay. You'll definitely get used to it. It's not horrible. It's quite easy to use. It's just, it's not as snappy as what I'm used to on you know, more expensive bikes. I'm definitely getting a bit of vibration, but that's okay. That just adds to the fun. It's only when it's revving, when I'm sitting, you know, at 54 kilometers an hour, 50, it's actually quite smooth and nice, and I think some of the vibration would also be coming from these knobbly tires. But city speeds, this bike actually handles it okay, and the switches, even though they are cheap, they work, and the button feel was fine, and you know, everything is sweet. Honestly, for 3.5 grand, you're not really going to find anything better than this, really. I mean, it's a good little bike for 3.5 grand. I'm not complaining. If I had the money in the shed space, I'd happily own one of these, you know, because it's just a mean little runner and it's good on gas. You can't complain, like, you know, and it's still a lot of fun. Come on, little Hanway. It sounds quite good with the no baffle and the exhaust too. It's got a good little rumble to it. Sounds like a little kind of like a little sports bike. It actually reminds me of my first bike. I had a little Yamaha R15. It's a very similar sound to that, but without the baffle, it's actually got a deeper sound. Yeah, so just blasting around the little industrial streets of Oamaru. Lots of fun. This is a cool bike, man. Honestly, yeah. I'd say if you're looking at buying one of these, and you got to obviously be prepared to take it for what it is. You know, it's a very budget conscious motorcycle, but in saying that, it looks cool. I guarantee you, if you park this up somewhere, you probably get people asking questions about it, because it kind of looks like a bit old school. You know, it's got a bit of an old school feel to it with the round headlight and stuff, so some people will be like, oh, what brand is that, you know? And yeah, the bars feel nice, the seat position is comfortable, it's nice and upright. This is, yeah, a budget conscious, cool little motorcycle. I mean, if you want a commuter, if you want something that can rip up some gravel roads too, because you can easily stand up on it too, like, and you know, hit the rough ready tracks. And yeah, it's a cool little bike. I really like it. I'd have a hell of a lot of fun on this thing, really, like I would. I can imagine it'd be a lot of fun to just thrash this out, you know, wind it right out, and yeah, I honestly think it's pretty cool. So we'll get away on these lights here, wind it out. Oh, good little bike, you know. It's definitely one of the slowest bikes I've ever ridden. Even my Himalayan feels like a bloody super bike compared to this, but you know, that is a 400. It's got way more torque. But no, all in all, I think the verdict of this is, if you're looking at buying one of these, you're obviously not going to be blown away by performance or build quality as such, but in saying that, it feels like a solid bike. It's holding together. There's no mystery rattles or anything like that. It's all sounding nice. Everything works as it should. The speedo's easy to read. You know, it's a cool little summer cruiser. You could probably take it out on the beach. It'd probably hack up some sand alright, because it's really lightweight, big tyres on it. You've got upside down forks, which is actually pretty ahead of its time for a budget conscious bike. Usually you don't get upside down forks on a budget bike. And you've got twin shocks at the rear. They are a little hard, but in the end of the day, like $3.5 grand. I mean, you couldn't really do any better. $3.5 grand. And I bet it's cheaper in other places too. That's New Zealand pricing for you. $3.5 grand is, yeah, New Zealand. So I mean, you know, you can't really complain. I mean, it's a good little bike, looks nice, everything's good. I really like the mirrors too. They're actually very, like, good visibility out of the mirrors, which is pretty sweet. And yeah, no, I think the verdict of this, if you want to buy one of these and you're in the market for a commuter, budget conscious, cheap little runaround that looks cool and is fun to ride, I'd say give this a hell of a good go. You know, take it for a test ride, because you're really not going to get any better for the money. I really, it'd be hard to argue, unless you're talking second hand, of course. Like, you can get some nice bikes second hand, but I'm pretty sure these come with a warranty and everything as well. You know, you got your side stand kill switch and everything as well, steering locking, center stand, bloody, like, even the shift gears and everything, like, they look okay, you know. Like, the build quality is actually reasonable on this thing. You got the battery cover there, nice little sort of logo on it, little sprocket, easy to work on, really easy to work on. It's a super simple engine, so you can do a lot of the work yourself. Obviously I really like the look of the exhaust on this. It's a very industrial sort of feel. But no, honestly, $3.5 grand, I'd say it's a goer. It's a lot of fun, and you really couldn't go wrong for $3.5 grand. I don't think anyone would be complaining taking this home. It'd be a cool little runaround. So yeah, that's basically all I have to say about this. I'd recommend it if this is the type of bike you're after. Budget conscious, looks cool, you know, good on gas, everything like that, easy to work on, everything will be cheap to replace. Yeah, I really don't see anyone going wrong with one of these. So yeah, that's my review of the HANWAY Scrambler 125. I really hope you enjoyed this video. A bit of a fun one, little rip around town and things like that. And make sure to like and subscribe to see more content coming from me. We're going to have some new shipments of bikes coming into Colin Klein Motorcycles, so I'll be able to do some videos with the new CF Moto models and things like that. I'm especially excited to try out the CLX 700. That's going to be super cool, and the 800 MT as well. I'm keen to take that for a ride because I've only rolled one around the shop. So yeah, that's basically it, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you on the next one. This is Vinny from Road Blast Media.